Alright guys, happy new evening, happy new day, happy morning, happy afternoon, wherever you are in the world, whenever you're looking at this video. Hope you're having a great time. We have a great game tonight, at least to start the night. We'll see if we have more games tonight. We have Mikeyjh on his usual Inalla. We have Leptys, which is a name that's been thrown around a bit, with Tymna. It's a really spicy route that we were looking with Brain a while back. Then we have Erik on Tymna Kraum. I believe it's the usual blue farm. And we have MichaelL on Kess. Mikeyjh starts with Watergrave, shocking himself and dropping a fish on the turn 1. A pretty good start, especially considering he's on the play. And then does nothing. Okay, there's no response to the fish. Fish resolves. Then drops a Lotus Petal and passes, obviously representing interaction, which is a good thing. Even if he doesn't do anything, he doesn't really care about Storm, so dropping that casual Lotus Petal is pretty good for him. Leptys starts his turn by drawing into a Bird and Catacombs and passes. Interesting, so slow turn. Erik drops Underground Sea into a fish that lets Mikeyjh draw a card, but there's double fish. So things are going to be very interesting, very slow actually. Since at least I know that the MichaelL deck is really wanting to play a lot of spells. It's kind of like a Stormish build. The blue farm also wants to play Stormish. Inalla, I believe, doesn't need that much because he can go off with Spellseeker. And Kess also wants to cast a lot of spells. It's really sad for MichaelL to be on the last part, on the last seat, considering that he wants to also drop some stuff, but there's 2 fish on the play. So it's gonna be pretty sad. Did he pass? Nothing, or did nothing? Okay. So Mikeyjh starts his turn. Let's go back to MichaelL when we know what's going on. So Mikeyjh pays for the fish and plays the Verdant Catacombs. Cracks the Verdant, goes to 37 and looks for... Oh, Leptys in response cracks. There's no Stifle in this format, at least it's not really widely played, so there's no fear of getting Stifle here. It's a legacy viable play. A lot of people do it actually. And run out of coffee. Sadness. Leptys gets an Underground Sea to match with Erik's ones. And Mikeyjh also gets an Underground Sea and passes with 2 mana open, representing basically any interaction in his deck. So Leptys goes to his turn, finishes shuffling for the Underground Sea, and end of turn, he Mystical Tutors at the end of turn, and lets Mikeyjh and Erik draw for the fish. Okay, what's he gonna get? Yes. Notice no responses to Mystical Tutor. At this point in the game, it's pointless to counter a tutor, specifically this one. You mostly want to counter what they get to get the most value. That's kind of like a basic play. But there are times when it's actually a good idea to counter the tutor, since you don't want them to do anything at that point. Oh, seems like MichaelL dropped from the game, so it's going to be a 3-man pod. Okay. Unexpected, but it happens sometimes. Okay, so Leptys, he might be getting either mana for Adnos or just Adnos. Oh, Frantic Search. I don't want to spoil what the deck is about, but it's very spicy. It's super spicy. He's heavily waiting for the fish to go away because he cannot go off. Oh, MichaelL's back in the game. Never mind. He just dropped an Underground Sea and passed. His Internet Esprit sounds like it's pretty weird, so that's pretty sad. But at least we have him back on the game. Okay, so Leptys goes to his turn and taps and draws the Frantic Search. while we look at Michael shuffle with his camera, trying to get it. Ah, there we go. Beautiful. Almost there. Good enough. Leptys drops an island, which might ring some alarms on people, saying like, basic island. So Erik goes to his turn, upkeep, there's a fish trigger, pays for the fish trigger, obviously, he wants to keep it up, plays up good at foothills, and will that be all? Will he feed? Okay, cracks the good at foothills. Okay. Okay, so Erik goes to 39, fetching with the foothills. At this point, both Michael and Leptys for sure are waiting for the fish to go away. Specifically, as I said before, Leptys, because his deck is Stormish and he wants to go off and he doesn't want to give cards. At least once fish is gone, if there's a Kraum in play, it's only one card, it's not the end of the world. But if there's a fish, every time he plays something, he's gonna die. That's pretty bad. So Erik gets a Volcanic Island, passes to Michael. Michael draws for his turn and drops a Mana Confluence. Then ponders his turn, what's gonna be. After some deliberation, he decides on what it will be. Okay, so everyone, Erik and Mikeyjh have 7 cards. I believe Leptys also has 7 cards since he just cantripped and made land drops without casting anything extra. So he's asking because, okay, he might be willing, but no, just decides on passing. Mikeyjh starts his turn by paying for the fish trigger. Now we have 2 counters. On his main phase, drops a Volcanic Island. It's really hard to see, but it is what it is. And drops a Mox Opal, playing into Erik's fish. This is not really fun for both Leptys and Michael, since they're just feeding each other. And just praying that the fishes are gone soon enough. I believe that's Mikeyjh's turn. That Mox Opal is not turned on yet, so he still only has 2 mana open. This means that there's a high chance that Lotus Petal will not be cracked anytime soon, since that will set him back to the Mox Opal. Okay, let me see. I'm having issues with the audio. Let me see if it's... no. Oh, I'm muted. It's probably something in Discord, someone is playing with speakers instead of headphones. That's why I'm hearing multiple times. Okay, so we go to Leptys' turn. He drops a command tower. Interesting. There's a reason why I say interesting. You might see it this game. Actually, this exact turn, the next play, it's a high tide. Here we go. So he doesn't really even mind the fish. He doesn't care. It's time to go off. Here we go. This is when it gets interesting. Remember, he has a Frantic Surge in his hand. That means he's gonna have at least 1 blue floating and then 6 mana after the Frantic Surge, if it resolves, of course. Considering that will set him back way too much if they counter it. Well, we'll see what happens. I don't like when this type of deck trying to go off, being the first one to go off, because everyone has mana open and there's fishes in the board, so you're probably doing... Oh, that's a lot of fairies. That makes it even better. Okay. There's a cloud of fairies on the stack. Erik passes. Michael says no. Mikeyjh also says no. So cloud of fairies resolves. So in response to the trigger, he's gonna tap the Underground Sea for... He's gonna make one black and one blue. What blue is because of high tide. Every time an island is tapped, you get a blue, and underground sea counts as both. So the trigger resolves, and he gets both lands untapped. This is pretty important, since this will mean he will be able to keep up interaction if he wants to. Well, he will need to. The frantic search is when people will be fighting for, or probably another of the untapper spells that he's playing. Let's see what he continues with. Taps an island for 3 blue. So currently he has 3 blue floating and 1 black. Taps the underground sea for probably another black. Yes, for another black and 4 blue. And how was it going to continue? Now he casts this frantic search using 2 blue, I believe, or 3 blue. Oh, 3 blue already. Leaving the black untapped completely. Erik casually drops a dispel in response to the frantic search. This was pretty telegraphed by everyone. Okay, Mikeyjh draws in response to this, since there's no way Erik is paying 4 for this. Leptys continues the stack with a mental misstep, letting Erik and Mikeyjh keep drawing. Erik no longer has untapped mana, so that means his interaction is going to be Force of Negation, Force of Will, Mental Misstep, and stuff like that. Okay, Mikeyjh responds with a Force of Will pitching Chain of Vapor. Okay, Erik responds by drawing with the Fluted Fish trigger. And what's Leptys' response to this going to be? He's still... Oh. Force of Will is countered. And he still has 3 black... Oh, sorry, 2 black and 1 blue. With this, with the mana open, he casts a Predator's Grasp, targeting. And is gonna target... He's debating and decides on Mikeyjh. Makes complete sense, since getting rid of the fish might help him a lot. Both Erik and Mikeyjh draw. Okay, this is the part where Predator's Grasp gets weird in this kind of games. Even with even with Gilded Drake, it becomes weird. So you should be aware that this event will happen. You will see this a lot, especially in cEDH, since both are staples at this point in the meta. And one of the suggestions I do for this is, let me see if I have it around. Yes, is grabbing one of these top loaders. I don't know if you see it. Top loader, and get a sleeve, a white sleeve. Just put it inside, just like this, and with any Sharpie, then it becomes a wipeable pseudo whiteboard for this kind of things. It's pretty cool, especially for Gilded Drake. And maybe Predator's Grasp is the cards you're looking for. It's part of the deck. Just a cool idea if you guys are interested in a very cheap solution for this. You might even get multiple if you want to get like treasures, goblins, or whatever your deck needs. Okay, we here are waiting for Leptys to check on Adept's list, and probably will ping Mikeyjh via Discord to get the card he wants. Maybe to check if it's still there, since his grip is like something like 10, 11 cards. Okay. Leptys decides on Time Twister instead of the fish. It's good because he wants to reveal specifically because High Tide is in his graveyard and this is a High Tide deck. Also, the Frantic Search is interesting stuff that he wants to go back to. Probably the play for his next turn is going to be either dropping Malcolm to get targeting mana, Tymna to get in draw, and leaving Time Twister just there as an option for the future, or maybe casting Twister. Here he comes with a very proxy Time Twister. There you go. This is supposed to be hidden information for the other players, but nobody really cares about this. Okay, then passes. Erik goes for his turn, pays for fish, completely tapping out, drops a command tower, and then cast a Mox Diamond, not paying for Mikey's fish, letting him draw again, and discards a Misty Reinforced. What's the follow-up for this? It's gonna give Mikeyjh even more cards in this? It's an interesting play. Oh, he keeps a chain, so casts a Kraum, lets Mikeyjh draw again. And pitches Intuition. Interesting. That's one of the winkons of Blue Farm. At least one of the easiest one to assemble. I'm guessing his hand is stacked with a fish, with all of those. Tapping the Mox Diamond and Kraum, cast an Arcane Signet, letting Mikeyjh even draw even more. And okay, so Mikeyjh misses the fish trigger. Oh no, he doesn't. No, he didn't. He almost did. Michael starts his turn by playing a fancy Scalding Turn and a Lotus Petal, letting both players draw a card. Is he gonna drop Kess and start slapping? Might be the play at this point. There's a very high chance that once Mikeyjh untaps, so he plays. So Michael drops a Detection Probe. Mikeyjh has 14 cards and Erik has 7 because he dropped all the rocks before he had to discard. Makes complete sense. Then targets the Detection Probe at Mikeyjh, of course. Makes the most sense of all of this. Then drops all the cards. This is a Swan Song. Windfall, Petals Grasp, Necrobotans, Shallow Grave, Lands, Wheel of Fortune, Spell Seeker, Calling the Weak, Tutor, also Oracle. So he has the win in his hand with protection. He has Oracle and Vampiric. He can fetch and turn Vampiric for Tainted Pact or Demonic Consultation and keep mana open. Wow. He doesn't even need to go for the fancy Spell Seeker lines. So this is a really important turn that they need to keep mana open for everything. Leptys at this point, he's just F6'd. There's no interaction he can play. Well, I believe he only has one card in his hand, so there's no way he can cast Force of Will or Force of Negation, and he already uses his his Mental Misstep. So he's just a sitting duck. Michael continues by cracking his Scalding Turn, going to 39 and getting probably Volcanic Island to yep, there we go, Volcanic Island. Joining the group of the cool kids with Volcanic Islands. Only Leptys is the one unable to do so since he's not playing red. But Leptys is also part of the Underground Sea Cloud, so that's more how to say it, fancy or fancier, which is the correct word. What's gonna be Michael's continuation of the turn? This needs to be very good. Oh, and drops a wheel using Lotus Petal. Is he gonna use? Yeah, is he gonna use the Lotus Petal? No, does not use the Lotus Petal, but gets pinged by the Mana Confluence. Okay, there's a Remo trigger on the stack. And draw a card, of course. There's no way he's gonna pay 4 for both triggers. So here's the deal. This might give Erik the win if it resolves. In this case, I believe Mikeyjh is gonna fight this and is gonna try to counter it. We already know he has a Swan Song, so there we go. he's gonna try to Swan Song the Wheel of Fortune, giving Erik another card. Is Michael gonna fight back? Okay. Swan Song is passed priority by Erik. Does it resolve? This will mean that Mikeyjh cannot win next turn. Unless he drops casually an Underworld Breach and tries to go nuts with that. Even then it might be hard. Okay, so a Swan Song resolve. Okay. Erik is saying that he likes his hand against Mikeyjh's, which kind of makes sense since he might have more interaction than Mikeyjh. Mikeyjh had more resilience in Spellseeker, Necropotence, Praetor's Grasp, and Vampiric Tutor. But it didn't seem to have a lot of interaction to protect his combo. So, Swan Song resolves, Wheel of Fortune is countered, and Lotus Petal is still uncracked, so he might be representing interaction for Mikeyjh. Mikeyjh goes to his turn. Is he going to pay for the fish? Fish is dead, that's important. That means Leptys and both MichaelL are happier. In his upkeep, he casts Vampiric Tutor, obviously trying to go for Consultation or probably counters. It'll probably Consultation, so he has both A plus B. And at any turn, if anyone tries to tap out or something, he can have the combo for it at any point. That means there's a threat, a constant threat to leave mana open from both Erik and MichaelL. I'm not considering Leptys at this point because he only has one card in hand and he still needs to rebuild. He might actually just drop the Time Twister because that will ruin Mikeyjh's. They're similar names. I'm sorry. That will ruin Mikeyjh's and Erik's hand since they've been sculpted so much by the fish. Okay, Erik drops a Silence in his upkeep. Draws a card. Guess what it will be? He'll probably drop a land and proceed to his cleanup step. So he got silenced. Big sad. Okay, plays another Mesa, cracks it. He'll probably get a Steam Bench, go to 31. Or is he gonna stay on 33 tapped? Everyone knows his hand mostly. They know he has Oracle, Praetor's Grasp, and all that stuff. And also another new card with the Vampiric Tutor that everyone assumes at this point is going to be Consultation or some other interaction. And what's it going to be? That's a Steam Bench in black and white. I hate you, Mikeyjh, for playing black and white. It's hard to read. Nah, JK. Okay? So he's gonna go to his cleanup. What is he gonna keep? He's gonna keep obviously Oracle, Spellseeker. Then Praetor's Grasp, very high chance he's gonna keep it. And next turn, if he is able to untap, at least if Erik doesn't do anything his turn, sure. He might be able to Praetor's Grasp him. Okay. He's deciding on what cards he wants to keep. He has 5 already selected and he needs 2 more. So those 2, and he's gonna discard. That's a Oracle, Dimmer Signet, Calling the Weak, Wheel of Fortune, Widow of Foothills, Necropotence, and Windfall. So his plan is to unearth the Oracle and then go off. That will mean he only needs double black to try to win the game and leaving all his blue mana open for counter spells. Okay, Leptys goes to his turn, draws. Is he gonna Twister now? That will be really good. Drops a Prismatic Vista. And what will it be? Will it be Malcolm or will it be Time Twister? Even Tymna with Cloud of Fairies is not a bad idea. He's gonna get an island again. He's a high tide deck. That will mean that his density of islands is really high. He's, I think, playing like 2 or 3 non-island lands that produce mana, of course. Okay, so he proceeds to just cast the Time Twister. Erik responds by casting the Dark Ritual. Guess what it'll be? We have 2 words for this card. At least it's what I assume it is. Okay. So we have the stack of Time Twister, we have the stack of Dark Rit, and there's a Shallow Grave. Oh, so right, he even showed this. So he's gonna try to go off this turn. Not right now that Erik has no mana open, Leptys has no hand. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's a pretty good idea. He's gonna try to go off now. So he's gonna Shallow Grave for Oracle. Okay. I like this. It's a good plan from Mikeyjh, yeah. Okay, so that's Shallow Grave resolve. Okay. So Shallow Grave resolves, so that Oracle goes on the battlefield. There's an ETB trigger on the stack, and in response to it, shocker! Demon Consultation. So there's a fish trigger on the stack. Erik draws from the fish. And will this be Mikeyjh's win? And there's a Pact of Negation from Erik. Wow. Okay. Does Mikeyjh have interaction? Did he draw interaction from the fish? Okay, so Pact of Negation counters the Demonic Consultation. There's a fish trigger still in the stack. So he's gonna scry 2. Bottoms both. And okay. Okay, so we continue with the stack, clearing the Dark Rit resolve. Then there's a fish trigger from Leptys Time Twister. And that trigger resolves, Erik draws a card. Erik has also 3 black mana open. And passes priority on Time Twister. Remember that he has a Pact of Negation trigger on the stack. So that will be pretty good, you know. I don't think people will be bouncing 2 rocks from Erik. Just kill him. But that will be spicy. I'm not gonna lie, that will be pretty spicy. Time Twister resolves, and here we go. Everyone shuffles their hand. This is gonna be a long game, I believe now. Unless Erik wins on his turn, which I don't think he will now that all of his graveyard is shuffled. So he played the Dark Rit, knowing that he had a Pact of Negation for Mikeyjh's place. Mikeyjh needed an interaction there to win. If he had any counter spells, there's a very high chance he will win there, considering Pact of Negation is probably the last of the free counters you use, at least on priority order. And I'm guessing he wants to draw Opposition Agent from this. That's why he played it, also because it was free. Let's see if it pays off for him, because Opposition Agent, just for free, it's pretty good. Well, for 1 black. There's okay. Leptys continues by playing Imperial Seal, letting Erik draw a card. Whoever said a fish was a bad card. Balanced. And mental missteps the Imperial Seal. Okay. And Leptys continues by slapping Erik for 1, losing all his black mana. And passes the turn. in his upkeep, there's a Pact of Negation trigger on the stack, and pays for it, leaving Arcane Signet up. And Fish is not being able to be paid, so Fish dies, finally. That will actually let Leptys and Michael back into the game. That's pretty important. I've been highlighting this for a while. So he drops Painland for a blue-black Underground River, I believe it is, for a Soul Ring. And what's the follow-up? With 3 blue open, 3 mana open. Will it be another rock or just keep it for interaction? At this point, the plan might be for Michael. Everyone has to gank up on Erik because Erik has lots of mana, lots of cards. Okay, paying blue and a colorless plays a Phantasmal Image. Okay, what will it be? Targeting the Cloud of Fairies or the fish? Okay, so Phantasmal Image resolves and makes a fairy and untaps 2 lands. Fair enough. There's still a one colorless floating from this. Will he keep the mana open for interaction, or will he cast anything? He can still casually drop a mana vault into a Kraum and just say go, which is pretty good. Now the fish is gone, Kraum will actually let him have another engine. Okay. Oh, he's gonna drop Tymna. Okay, drops a Tymna. Good. And pass the turn completely tapped out. There's no real threat from being murdered by Mikeyjh at this point. Well, he might be able to bounce Oracle, recast it, and try to win there, but it's still a lot of mana for that. It's at least 4 mana. So, Michael goes to his turn, draws, replaces Scald and his shuffle with Time Twister, and he could play Kess to start going aggro on Erik. That plan will be foiled pretty fast once Erik casts Kraum back though. So okay, cracks the turn for and goes to 37. Probably getting an island or steam vents or something. What would be? Would you cast Kess? I mean, this is probably the setup turn that you would like to have the Kess out, since nobody has a lot of stuff, and that will let you have a blocker. Well, another blocker, aside from the bird he has from Swan Song. Gets a Water Grave, goes to 35, shocking himself. Okay, goes untapped, goes to 35. And continues by tapping 3. What's going to be another wheel? Ristic Study. Oh, here we go. Yes. Sorry about that. Okay, so now it's Michael's turn to be the fun police in this game. Everyone passes priority on the Ristic, and Michael has a Ristic Study now. Well, Mikeyjh and Erik cannot complain after the fish threw them, I don't know, something like 10 cards at least for each one. So now I think it's time for Michael to have some fun. Okay, continues by dropping a Preordain, pinging himself from the Mana Confluence, going to 34, scries the top 2, and I'm guessing he puts... Okay. Puts both cards on the bottom, draws a card. and passes since he already made his land drop. It's a good setup turn. Okay, Mikeyjh starts his turn by drawing. Remember, he no longer has a Lotus Petal, so that Mox Opal is gonna take a while to set on. Mikeyjh starts by tapping the Steam Vents and keep probing. Oh, he's paying the Heuristic Study, targeting. He's targeting. Targeting MichaelL. MichaelL has a windfall, has a gamble. Gamble, intuition, underworld breach, you almost will, and another land, I believe it is. That's a pretty good hand, but it doesn't do that much. He still needs time to try to set up his mana. He has intuition and gamble, which are really good setups for underworld breach. That will mean if he gambles for an LED, that will be good, but he only has 2 cards in his graveyard. His graveyard is not big enough to really make an impact with Underworld Breach yet. Okay, so he... Is that an intuition? Oh no, he's DTing. Okay, that's a demonic tutor paying for the Heuristic Study, and that will be the end of his turn. Okay. So Leptys goes through his turn and taps. The Cloud of Fairies also. Draws a card. Is this gonna be Malcolm turn or Tymna turn? At this point, it's weird to swing with Tymna since everyone has blockers, and if Leptys also drops his Tymna, then it's gonna be only Cloud of Fairies, and the only one that will be able to be slapped is Mikeyjh, since he doesn't have flyers. Okay, Mikeyjh gets his card, and Leptys still thinking about his turn. It's a very hard deck, so I don't blame him for taking a long time in his turns. Okay, Leptys drops a Mana Vault. Okay, oh, and declines to pay for the Heuristic Study. Already paying him dividends. Good. That Time Twister that Leptys stole from Mikeyjh was really good to get him back into the game, especially after he tried to go off, got slapped back for his troubles, and with the Twister he was able to not only blow up Mikeyjh's hand, blow up Mikeyjh's graveyard, blow up Erik's hand and graveyard, blow up MichaelL's hand and graveyard as well. He was also able to refill and get all the value cards he was looking for back into his library. So, continues by playing a Cabal Ritual. There's no threshold, so it's basically a more expensive Dark Red. He has 2 colorless floating. I believe he didn't pay for Heuristic Study. Will this Cabal Ritual resolve? So yeah, he still has 2 colorless. Cabal Ritual resolves. Yep, Cabal Ritual resolves, and that leaves him with 5 mana. I wonder what spell you can play for 5 mana that's black. That requires double black. Okay, no, that's not gonna be. With 1 blue, taps an island for a Bolas Citadel. Ooh! Okay, I like this. I like this a lot. Everyone stepped out. Woo! Frantic search of the top, maybe? Okay. That's possible to resolve. It resolves. Ooh. Is he gonna go crazy? Active Bola Citadel. If Leptys untaps, if he's able to untap with that, people might be very, very dead. Very dead. Okay. Plays Hollow Fountain, untapped. Shocks himself. There's a specific card I want him to cast this game. Oh, by the way, Stormcount 3. So he's playing another card that's really spicy. Oh, right, that's a decision Brayden made to his version of the deck that he's not playing. Leptys is playing another card that we need to keep reminder of Storm cards. So he's gonna Chain of Vapor targeting the Mana Bolt. So he'll probably also sack an Command Tower to bounce the Cloud of Fairies, since he needs a lot of blue. That will net him a free Storm counter. Even mana cycling. He might even sack an island for this. Okay. Okay, so Mikeyjh decides to Mental Misstep the Chain of Vapor, letting Michael draw a card. Okay, and the Storm goes to 5. So it's Mana Vault, Cabal Ritual, Bolas, Chain, Mental Misstep. Okay, and the top. Oh, minus the side! Ooh! Okay, minus the top, so that's 6 copies. Okay, okay. People might be dead at this point. It's not a good Mind's Desire because it's only 6, but the consistency of spells he might hit. Whoo! And there's a Bola Citadel active, so any cantrip. Whoo! Yeah. It's 6 copies of Mental Misstep. They're now right now counting that the number will get to that. So there's 6 Mind's Desire to resolve on the stack. One of the plays he should do at this point is that look at the top before the Mind's Desire resolves, in case there's something he wants to do, like Substantiate or anything, or Remand. I don't know if he plays Remand in his version, because that's a really classic way of keeping the Storm going by just Mind's Desire something, like bouncing the original Mind's Desire, letting the copies resolve. Okay, in response to all this, he is going to Enlightening Tutor to get rid of it from his library, and looks again in response to the Tutor, but finds nothing. Storm goes to 7. Enlightening Tutor. Will you even fetch for something, knowing that you're gonna shuffle with the Mind's Desire? Okay, so Michael does not know how Mind's Desire works, and counters the Enlightening Tutor, I believe, or a copy of Mind's Desire. Oh, Leptys casually counters with a mana drain off the top. Interesting. The statistic started triggering the stack. Okay. That will mean that Leptys has 1 colorless for his second main phase. Huh. This Enlightening Tutor is pointless. There's no point in fighting over this tutor. So Leptys brings out the dice to remind himself that he will have 1 colorless in his next main phase. And the tutor will resolve. Yeah, it resolves. But there's no point in this, because it will go to the top, and then Mind's Desire, the first 3 words of Mind's Desire say, shuffle your library. Here. Mind's Desire. Oops. Beautiful card. Shuffle Library. I don't know if this is a tricky card or just he wants to get rid of anything. Yeah. Okay. So he puts a top on top of his deck. There's still 6 copies of Mind's Desire on the stack. Well, at least there's a Storm Trigger on the stack. Still. Everyone's untapped. Everyone's completely tapped. So it's only 3 counters, and Leptys playing Solitaire at this point. Yeah, so they're now realizing that E-Tutor was completely pointless to fight over. And now the Mind's Desire trigger are on the stack. And okay, continues with the Mind's Desire resolution now. So the stack is 6 copies of Mind's Desire. This is in no way a deterministic win, since he will need to recast Mind's Desire for a lot to actually be able to kill them, because Mind's Desire for 6, unless he gets really lucky, it's not really a threat. Especially since he can still hit lands, and he already made his land drops. I played lots of Mind's Desire that just flopped for 3 or 4 lands, and they're really sad. They're really, really sad when you drop 5 lands and a counter. Oh, come on. Okay. First copy. This will take a while, guys, so sit down, grab some coffee, have a drink. Mind's Desire takes a long time to resolve if played correctly. Okay, so he shows the first copy. It's an island. Nobody cares. He resolves. Okay, checks the top of his library. Good play. Tight play from Leptys. Good. I like this. That every time he shuffles, he casts exiles a top and then looks with Bola Citadel. Good. Tight play. I like it. Okay. Shuffles. This is the only boring part about Mind's Desire, the shuffle library. It would be great if you just could do it differently, but it is how it is. Okay, shuffles library, reveals the top. It's a Jewel Lotus. Okay, that's a Malcolm for free. Looks at the top, and he's debating about something. So probably he's looking at a graveyard. So okay, so what could it be? It's not Breach. Might be... I forgot what's on his list. Let me check real quick. What could he get from this? He might get Reversal? Ooh, Snapcaster! Ooh! I like it. I like this. Snappy targeting what? What's it gonna target this? I forgot this was one of the few decks that actually play Snapcaster. With Bola Citadel is so good. Okay. What will it be? Chain of Vapor maybe? Snapcaster resolves. So Mikeyjh just says, I'm F6, there's nothing. Erik at this point might also be F6, so it's all eyes on MichaelL and his Rhystic Study to see if he can stop Leptys. If Leptys draws something fancy, Snapcaster resolves and targets... What will it be? Okay, so sorry, I missed what he was targeting with this, but I believe he might be targeting either Chain of Vapor or Cabal Ritual in case he gets more mana. It's a greedier play, but he needs to try to win this turn, so I don't blame him for that one. Okay, there's a third Mind's Desire on the stack being resolved, so we're going 50% of the Mind's Desire. after this one. Flips the top and reveals, what will it be? Believes a windfall. Oh, okay, okay. Looks at the top of his library. Oh, now we are hitting stuff. Now we're talking. Doesn't care about what's on top. Result. This is the 4th Mind Desire. So far, this is not a threat. At this point, he's looking for Pita or Adnos. Pita will probably be the best one, since he's at 23. Oh, that is nothing. That's a Dig Probe. But it's a free cantrip, it's not the end of the world, and also resets Ball of Citadel for free. It's not really bad at all. Okay, so looks at top of his library. And okay. Did I miss a count? Cavalry, mana, bolas, Swan Song, and I think there was another counter. Oh, Chain of Vapor. 5, so there will be 6. Yes, there should be another one. They're missing one Mind's Desire, since they say it's a final one. Or maybe they're counting the triggers and then the real Mind's Desire. That will make more sense. So here's the last Mind's Desire. Let's shuffle the library, reveal the top, and the top is an island. Yeah, they missed the Mind's Desire trigger. Okay, so what will it be, Leptys? You can still reset the Ball Citadel twice with Windfall and Git Probe. He only has 2 cards in hand, so he doesn't really care. Reveals their confidence from the top, losing 2 life. Storm trigger, it's at 11 already. Look at the top, following card. Okay. Those islands are basically exiled forever. They are not really playable anymore. What will it be? Okay. What's the top of library? Still Leptys. Is he gonna flip it? Okay, flips Lotus Petal. Okay, it's a reroll and mana, important. Looks at top library and does he fizzle here? Or does he keep going? Oh man, Ball Citadel is so fun. Ball Citadel into Mind's Desire. Ooh, that was so good. It's been a while since I saw this. Okay. And the next card is Mystical. Okay. Okay. So. Okay. So. Pita? Pita? Maybe? Pita? Adnos? Is this it? Is this the end game? Is this a Leptys win? After almost a Mikeyjh double win? Well, is this it? I mean, 100% you get Pita, especially with Ball of Citadel in play. That will leave you with 10 mana open. 10 life to still play around with Ball of Citadel. And there's a Windfall and a Gate Probe and a Jewel Lotus in case you need more. Interesting. Well, actually no, Pita is 8 mana, so wait, 7 mana, right? I always forget this. I should play more Blue Farm. Pita is 7 mana, so that will give him with 13 life. For the Ball of Citadel, then takes 7 due to Pita itself. Oh, he just fetches Silence, so he has a win in his hand, I believe, or he's looking for a, or he may be going off with a Windfall. Okay, so he continues by just shutting down the rest of the game. and trying to go off this turn. Interesting. Is this a Leptys win? Of Polar Citadel? Turn 5? Is this it? Okay, right away cast the Silence. Silence is on the stack. This needs to be addressed. Okay, nobody has anything. Silence resolve. Okay, this is it. This is Leptys' game to lose. Okay, reveals an M-Knight, nobody cares. Reveals, what's that? Demonic Tutor? No. Vampiric Tutor, I believe? I'm not sure. I believe that's a Vampiric Tutor, which makes complete sense with Polar Citadel on top. Active, I mean. No. Okay, at this point, the game for him is to just get either Flux Reservoir, and once he gets that, then it's just anything he casts. Then it's 15 life per spell, and he can continue going until kill them all. And then everyone just scoops in response to this. And it's a Leptys win of Mind's Desire and Ball of Citadel. Whoever said that those cards are not playable should revise this game. This game was great. I did never expect Leptys after he got through 2 fishes, a Rhystic Study, having his whole hand mana open, just blown up away from everything. Damn, I did not expect Leptys to win with this spicy deck. Okay, I did not expect this. Highly recommend watching this game again from Leptys' perspective. Wow, this was insane. Wow.